Hi, my name is Noel, CFO Senior, Financial Business Strategies International. I want to have it today about the banking services, the financial global economy, and other departments about the financial world and the future, what is coming, and the warnings you need to hear from certain departments, because it's sometimes frustrating and people are fast to believe that earning fast money is true. It is true. Sometimes it happens, but for a big risk, and that risk that can cost you almost anything. If you do, for say, option trading, what is my beginning training with the founder of the best strategy, the PowerPoint presentation of option engineering trading, and he was 10 times trophy trader in the United States in a row after years, 10 years. Then he took me under his wing and he teach me everything. I take the software and I followed. He took the decisions, and while he was interviewing me to see if I was with him, because he chose me for that purpose, to see if I also pass and can do it myself. And there's a loss percentage of 96.60% loss that you can lose one single investment on option trading. And that's the most highest level risk you can do, and certainly on a professional platform. But first, I want to have it about the digital future and what they should do for older people, that the difficulties with digital development and improvement and innovation, and the rapid way it goes. And what's best is first, nowadays the digital progress is not real good and bright. They should line up all the international, central, national, and federal banks in every database, and transparent communication. They should know each other by international way to to the address and the front and middle name. That's what I'm talking about. And they should get all of them the same alarms when terrorists wants to get funds from companies, and use good companies for front without knowing them, that. And for money laundering, it will not. If you line up all the international, central, national, and key banks, like federal banks, everywhere, you get a complete, all the transparent head of security. And what the banks should do, certainly the local banks, they have to be aware of the fact that they exist by the client, and by the little man too. It's not only the rich, but they act like it, like the client exists for them, and that is a really bad situation. That's why the collapse was in the first place, because there's with digitalization, there's no asking for more services from banking employment staff, and what you get is less demand. You can also less bid. You can bid the people nothing, and like that the bank is going fast out of commission, and soon they will destroying the banks. But I suggest, with the lining up with the federal, national, and central banks, all the key banks, the head banks in every continent have to line up. You get faster services. You get digital subscriptions that are correct and by country, and you have to go by country, and then every subscription online page, first page, not a state. When you are Belgium, you can't put a state in United States, fill in, and if you not fill it in, then you can pass the first page. So then you're in trouble. So that's what I mean. This is have to change. Every country has its own needs its own credits and data to fill in. With me as Belgium, it's 4 digits of zip code. I can never open an American bank account when there's 5 digit codes, zip code, and numbers of 12 numbers and instead of 16, and stuff like that. This should all be by the country itself to begin an employment with subscription. Then next, people getting analyzed and diagnostics by the cookies and stuff, by the webhooks and other stuff they use. The government does that too, for better services too. But you have also for content, and I find it a little bit too much. I have nothing to hide, and I always did open monitoring. But I saw they can find some but they had two real specialists and reporting anything. It was a group of 20 people to follow my individual work day and night sometimes, because it was in any continent and international, and I succeeded to never had a loss report with my strategy and my updating from overseas and back and forward to the United States and back, and for working for the Exchange Security Commission. And then I become a beneficial ownership of Securities Act 1934, what means you have 0.01 per value on like 400,000 shares, and the rights to that is a lot more valuable. The rights that I have granted is I can explain that as these are secret, but these are more valuable than the money itself, because any billionaire or a rich man can never buy these rights. You have to earn them by show trust, confidence, principles, human investments in discrimination groups like gender. I'm not for it. I'm completely not for it. I am still a Christian, and God doesn't create you, and you never get born like some that you fall, or a man to get in love with a man, and is walking behind them. Uh, because in the beginning, everyone who's coming out of the closet and has that problem, they always wanted to die first, then go with it, and before they accept. And when once they accept, they are lost. And this God calls it a very ugly word, and it is a scripture, and He doesn't do that often to people, but He calls it in this word, like I say, an abomination. So I'm not for it, but I'm just for one thing, and that's why I invested in that, in LGBT and gay and gender marriage and stuff, and all this discrimination, because one, it's still discrimination if you rule that people are, let anyone be himself, and let them be with the one they like, and what is important, I say in a minute. But okay, let them do whatever they do. It's not important what you are. It's important what you have in you to do effort to do something to change the world. And I could do that 3 times, just in time, in the break of time. So, but it was by I have a complete another source. I deal with it later. It's spiritual and it's real, but it's difficult to explain for non-believers and the layman. But it's real. Without that, I couldn't reach anything. But I had no loss reports in the last 10 years, and everyone with 4 conflict stressed this global economic situations. Anyone, even the most middle class companies, was going underwater, under the surface. And I, as only one come above, was helping them back on their feet, and helping them partnership, making partnership, investing in them. Took the financial bookkeeping and set my strategy here and there and what to do. But now, what the bank should do for a second, the banks, also the local banks should follow, uh, give more to the client than the bank should not have. I say that now for the European Union and for the American government and the other international governments that having central and national and federal banks and securities rates and star funds, monetary, and that kind of stuff. You have to a bank can close your account from anyone, even my rights and my title. They can do that, and they can leave you without information or reason, and you don't know what or why or what to do. So they can do that, and they did that once with me, and I did I did lose a lot because of this, but I made it up in the end of the fourth quarter of the financial quarter, in last of a complete year report. I went back up in the last quarter or in the third, maybe. But okay, and I kept making profits with in cooperation with OECD and the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, and they promoted me for household, and that's a difficult test situation. You have to be you have to have to knowledge some knowledge about business school, Harvard FinTech business, and the financial way, and how you act with the money, and how you get let's say how you multiply your money instead of the last period of COVID lockdown. And in Belgium, they were a little bit of proud of it. I was shocked myself. They said, "You know what? COVID made the Belgium from my country, uh, people did more richer because of the complete savings that are more than normal since lockdown with COVID is about $81 billion. They say billion euros, okay, and I was shocked to my core. I told him, Jesus Christ, what is the world going to? This is not the fault of the people that are saving and putting this on saving accounts where no interest at all. You lose your every day. You lose value with no interest on your savings account. Since last 2 months, they gave 0.6 back on a saving account, but the saving account is to not park your money there and do nothing with it. It's for a period to put there for like before you go in a pension, in a retirement agreement. It's saving there and like that, and use it for your normal account, your important account, your favorite, and then the savings account. Put some money there away, and you can then later decide what to do with it. And but everything, if the banks in first place had said to all the people that saved to 81 billion euros, and they were saying this on the news, and they were actually glad. And I said, how stupid can you be? But they should warn the people. Listen, man or woman or whatever individual that is saving, uh, invest your money. Even you can invest in state or government bonds. Uh, that is dynamic middle risk, like you have from 0 to 7 most times. But I was always on 6 7 high risk investing. That's why I made this biggest historical result in like a decade, and I'm my own boss now, and that's it, and the highest titles and the highest rights and everything, but I have responsibilities too. But okay, they have to if they have to invest those $81 billion in the 3 years that lockdown almost was in the country, uh, back and forward, back and forward. This $81 billion had become on 3 years. I can easy triple the money, and on under just a year I would say max. So that's $81 billion triple a year. That's 81 times 3. So that's 160, and then 243 $1 billion in a year, and that to times 3, because it's 3 years. That is 720 $1 billion instead of 81 what the people should have. But okay, it's my opinion, uh, but I'm also an expert for saying that. And what most bothering me also is the fact that the digitalization is almost everywhere. Software, if you have international digital payments to arrange, you have the problem that you get like you have to do the software yourself, and the indexes and all these difficulties. I do that most of times for automatically ending up for the people that they can use just my system. But what is smart, use GitHub. Put your all transactions, your the months subscribes, the month sleeps, I will say, uh, and put them in, and the way they are uh, transacting your money, you can put that in the software, and you have immediately a payment system. But do all the software code writing and putting all together, it's very logic. But if you never did it, it's Chinese mad. It's unbelievable. But for the old people, I would say, look, you have the digital international improvement. And who is ever going to get out of it? The people have difficulties to get to use the software, to use the banking mobile application. That's then that they have to do their own software if they want to have an international account. That is not possible. So what happens is they keeping slow down, delaying the global economic development and the health of the markets and in the middle because of this delaying is what they do is uh, stop stop internationally improvement and do that in any level. And what is the bank's future? They have to go to digital euro, digital dollars, digital currency, but not cryptocurrency. I have to say just in a few minutes about that. What is a warning for everyone because it's necessary. But okay, digital currency and keep that busy and keep the people busy with that. But what the government does for explaining how they can analyze you and they ask to open your cookies. Otherwise, you have less services. That is the downside of it. And you have also custom made services if you open it. But if you have yeah, if you're not honest and you put money, you do money laundering, even on a small scale, it's a high penalty fee, and you can end up in federal prison for a long time. It's a bad thing. It's all on the back of the taxpayers, and every time that happens, uh, it's someone has to pay, and that's multiple people that are getting more poor, and the rich getting more rich, and they leave to the Cayman Island and to Monaco and to places like yeah, you have enough places. You have Colombia, you have other islands. Swiss is never this. Swiss is never with this again. That was before, but they did exactly what the European Council want. But now they can do two systems in digitalization without forgetting one thing. I am going to explain. First, uh, the tracking of the monitoring, the complete tracking is diagnostics, analytics, webhook cookies, data protection, and they keep from third parties information from you. If you do something wrong, illegal, they can give that, pass that to the Justice Department. But otherwise, they keep it for 3 years and uh, to get feedback and to better give services. But what they have to do is find something like uh, everyone with every individual that they have monitored for a long time and long certainly investors and stuff, they can help humans that the common man in the street, he has to also have the chance to enter the market international and invest there with professionals. And if that's not ready and done, then the market will not going to be healthy more than now. But the market is strong enough. You have to not scared for recessions. You have seen that we had four conflicts, four stress, big topics, recessions. Uh, Before in the 80s and last in 90, 92 I guess, and 98 ones too. last was a recession. Was one. I dealt with four. That's the conflict in Russia, the energy, the inflation, and the COVID victims, and the lockdowns, and the business, and the people that get fired everywhere. But what they have to do is use those monitoring that is correctly detailed, reported, and make a backwards uh, tracking to stuff that is digital recognized from the individual, and get it back to him so that he can find uh, his own accounts what is opened, and his own funds what is lost, get his funds back that is paid and never get repaid refund, and people that get scammed get their money back. That is for a reverse sweeping of the monitoring tool that they can use and make for. I can make it myself, but I don't have the time for it. But I say it. This is easy, and do that and use the technology I'm going to explain, and that is the best you can do. Uh, uh, Make it automatic for people like old people. They have difficulties to use a smartphone and pay with a card. Okay, but cards going to uh, go away too sometime. It's going to be all with but cash has to stay because of some countries and stuff. But I go further on this. Now I'm going to the digitalization and what I should do. They should concentrate on the digitalization from the currencies, and if they make transactions international, they don't do in small countries. They don't trade intraday. That means day by day. When they make a transaction, you do sometimes it takes 2 days to 2.5 days, sometimes 10 days. Some banks, but you can imagine how much you can lose when the currency exchange uh, goes down for your part on your behalf. You lose an amount of money if you have transaction of millions. That is a lot of millions. That is the same thing if you lose 0.3% in a quarter of a year. Then when you have billions in investments, then you lose like $3.8 billion. So that is too much money. So you have to look at like this. You have to look at like the big picture. But now, uh, okay, what you should warn about: do not engage with software for cryptocurrency, digital software that they made for algorithms. They say they make money when you do nothing. You have just three levels they put you in. That is a novice, that is a beginner, and that is an investor with 10 years of experience. And then you have the third level, that's a senior account. And this goes from 3.5 to 3.45, and a senior account goes to 4%, 4.5% in profits every day if it is a bad day. But this software is made by pyramid scams. I saw the Security Exchange Commission reports of justice courts cases in high courts, Supreme Court, about individuals that are dealing in the top of these pyramid schemes. They are promising you everything, and in the beginning it looks fine. You make money and everything, but once you open your mind about something to other people that is not attracted, yeah, not they have another way. They are not. They they don't get it, and they are not good enough to even to be a beginner, and they don't have the money to invest even like $500 in there. And I heard a case, and the software was is simply based, even a layman people and an average man can develop the software if I give two application and tools to him. You this It is just a deal. The priority of buying low and selling high, there's a software based on, and then using a computing fast system software that jump from investment to investment to investment to investment. But the Bitcoin has a big full option move. The peaks are high or low. They can go from in front noon. You can go from plus 250 to $500 plus in profit, and in 4 hours later you can actually end up with 1,000 or 1,500 loss. And if you have only 1,500 in your vault and in your account, you lost your money, and that's it. That's the end of story. That can happen on an afternoon. But this is not it. If you do regular Bitcoin stuff, it's just alright. But it goes in the future, it goes away. Bitcoins is not. Uh, uh, there was a girl, 15 years old. She made $1 million by making belugas drawings on every token, and she sold it, and she made $1 million in 10 hours. And the first rule, she came on TV and she was bluffing about it. But the first rule in cryptocurrency, you must be at least 18 years old to act in cryptocurrency, and transactions certainly. You have to have someone to guard you, to be your recommender, your I don't know, your father, you name it, an older adult person, and he has to have experience too. But what you get in this cryptocurrency algorithm software, they in the beginning it goes good, and then one moment they ask you, listen, we have a good coin. The future say and our programs say that they can explain that what is not true. It's manipulation of financial investments. It's fraud. It's really fraud. And they explain if you get your profits this time in this new coin, and that was what was it? A Litecoin, I mean, a Litecoin. I remember something like this. And the Litecoin had no future at all, and no new coin, cryptocurrency will ever have future again. This was first from the Matsumoto Satoshi who find that, and it was a good system, and to get under the radar and to not have banks involved, and you share in principle, you share your address and you keep your main address as private, and you have the one scans who pays and the other who receives shows his QR code to scan. Or you can do with addresses with they are easy to hack too. In the beginning it's not, but now they can do anything. They can hack anything. I did binary code study and clusters, and I did write to catch imposters, identity theft imposters, and organizations or hackers, to catch them and locate them, and even track their acquaintances, their family, the places where they go most, and the internet services, the protocol and the proxy data. I can get it all up because of binary code encryption software I have written, and the FBI is using that, and the international Interpol intelligence used the same and gave me a membership for it, an international for criminal police, only department cybersecurity. I'm not someone who arrests people, and Interpol doesn't do that. There's an intelligence information. They can easily ask an FBI agent to do what he has to do and arrest this man or this group. But I have this software, and they're going to be surprised soon, the organizations. But if you have transparent communication in international, let's say, international development of the digitalization, then you have also less criminal activity, because all the Federal Reserve banks, the national banks in every country, and the central banks getting the same alarm bell wrinkle. They see it, and they see by the partners they have the same thing. So it would be not long before they come from to the surface, and you can catch them easier, and every department will go faster. The services will be more custom made because of the correct information. Now you have to sometimes put information in a subscription with another bank to open an account there. That's not true, but you have to later fast fix it on the phone and get excuse yourself, and you had no other choice, and explain it. They know, and this is a problem. If you do that to the IRS, you have a fee. These are my friends, the IRS in the United States. I like that because they are the most powerful organization in the world, and then they act like they should act. They act like for the best of common people in the world. The IRS. They are correct. They have a real good law, a good strength judgment, and with the tax, you hate it maybe paying tax, but it is for your own services and life, better quality of life, and better quality of your environment. And then what you can do is the cash flow, the usual printed cash. The history tells us that who had the most printed cash in the vault, mostly like in Federal Reserve banks in the Netherlands. They had that in the the Amsterdam ABN AMRO Bank is that, and they had that a moment too, and they could use the value to to get more credits. You can get more done if you have more bail aside on your name. If you have no bail, you can get no credit, and that's it. And also for the next reason, uh, let's think about now. We always talk about Russia. That's bad. That's happened, and people die and stuff. But the Yemen humanitarian catastrophic event, what no one looks at. No one looks at it. That is sad. And there's even no running water. What are they going to do with a plastic card, a Visa or a MasterCard full with money? There's not even running water. So let's stand an ATM machine or a bank standing, right? And that's the Emirates, that the country that is where the rich businessmen act, and they have bottlenecked the food distribution to Yemen on the American taxpayer. I have this from a reporter who is going in undercover investigation and saw that and reported to me too. And it's a bad situation, and I am going to deal something. I'm going to do that. I promised myself and God, my God, I promised. I do something about the situation, and I do this structurally. I uh, I act within the government, in the roots, and all the surrounding negative influences. I deal. I wipe them out and get authority and safety for people and get education and after the basic needs and get devices in there and get those people to the market too. And they can maybe be a few, but they can use all complete villages, teach complete villages with, let's say, three computers with three people, a tribe. And it's always the Hutsis and Tutsis there fighting, and then you have the gangs and they're shooting. But every 7 minutes, a baby uh, from just rotting away, wasting away from hunger and thirst and filthy water, and no medicine supply because of the bacteria that we are easy can heal, and they are dying from this like dysentery when you get fluid on your darm system uh, because of they have to go to the toilet outside, and when it's wet you get dysentery, and after a while within in the morning you don't have to do this, and this is what other bacteria do. But next, uh, what I say about AI, to make it very good for all people, for any people, to use it automatically and to do the software of digital international payment and financial services, and for the banks. They have to use first a complete Android system that is updated and that is complete used by someone who knows how to use an Android system. The iOS system of the Apple, let's say the Apple have, also use the Nexus, the Microsoft, the Google Analytics and software, and also you use all those 4, 5 to 6 big groups and use GitHub with that. And on front, you use all those big names, and an Android is also a little bit IA, but it's not that they are going to find patterns themselves. They mimic your patterns and they keep that in mind. But if a full capacity of Android robot is who is learned patterns, and you don't need to make a dog robotics, uh, how to dance and how to act like a real dog. This is nothing. IA is fast with all those learning software, and then with participation of a human being itself, that would put IA like 100,000 times faster in taking more decisions and recognize patterns and everything, and will make it automatic for all people, and will make the market once more healthier. That's the second. So put them all in behind each other in cooperation, combination to push the IA intelligence, artificial intelligence software to faster recognize and multiply the recognizing and the mathematics, the calculations they do, that IA does, and to make it easy for the old people and for the layman man that don't need to know how to do software. Everyone is good and unique at its own self. Don't let anyone discriminate yourself, because you are worth just as much as me and as the next person in line, and as the highest person in the world with a powerful job, or the king. You are next as unique, the same equally. Every one of you. God made us all unique. And how should you allow someone to let you exclude from something, or let you discriminate by color or by ethnicity, by beliefs, by anything? You have to say, look, man, if you say that you are letting me exclude because I'm coming from there, of I'm coming from a poor education or something, or I'm black, or this of that, or I'm gay, or something. Uh, no, you have to say then. If you say that you are restricted thinking, you have restricted thinking. That's like a retard, but it's a polite matter to say. Restricted thinking makes that you are also going to restrict act in according to your thinking. You put your level not to the same as your neighbor. You put your level to number one. You are all number one, and put your level of thinking positive, first positive. Filter out negative stuff in your thoughts. Don't allow it. If it's not positive related, put it out of your head. But because if you do that, you learn to do that, and it's going to be automatic. By a little time, you're going to do automatic. The negative, just forget, and don't allow it twice in your head. And if it's not positive, it's not coming from God. It's coming from the evil one who is existing. And I know I've been an expert in this world, too spiritual world. He exists, and he makes people known that he tricks people that doesn't exist, but he is really existing, and demons and stuff, and they exist, and they whisper you things, and they can observe you patterns, and you can watch on YouTube. Look for Father Vincent Lampert, and you will see his he's Indiana diocese, a priest or exorcist in from Rome, Vatican, trained, and he will explain you what is real, what is not real. There's not only what you can see. So I say to you, be honest, be good to your neighbor, pray to God, have a prayer life, whatever God you have, it's all that is going higher than one belief system. It's going higher than Catholic or Hinduism or a Christian. It's it's uh, it's going higher than that. But if you have a belief system, I have been a Christian because I can prove, I almost prove, and I know for certain that the Lord Jesus Christ exists, and that is my opinion. But I don't want to put it on you. Do what you want with it, but I know Jesus Christ was alive, and there's proof of National Geographic proved it, and of the events. But okay, what is real? He was there, and he did all this stuff and much more. No books could hold it if they had all signed up what he did miracles, and he did it in front of me. And after 25 years of begging and praying and asking and surrendering my free will to God, give it back, and ask the Holy Spirit to choose for me for the plan God had for me, and he did exact that. And if you want blessing to say stop this, a conclusion, I give you good advice, a secret even. It's a protection against COVID. You get raised in honor, then in value. He puts you under his wings for protection. Then he sends his angels to carry you, to not stumble to a stone on the street and fall, and carry you. Then in the last sentence, God promised, and then I show you my glory, and that's a promise that He made, and I prayed that, and I said, this is what you said, dear Lord, do what you have said, and make it true, and He did in order, in front of my eyes, and with other people I told the text what it is. I saw it again and again and again. And if you pray with your heart, and this psalm is a psalm, it's 91. It's a special advice that is high paid, top dollar with people for that advice. But read it. It's against protection, COVID, and you will recognize it or two. And no one said it ever. I warned everyone, but I couldn't have. My voice was not big enough in 2 years ago. Now it would help. But the COVID is almost over now. It's forgotten, and there come other diseases. What is the same thing? You need Psalm 91 for fast blessing. Be humble. Don't be courageous, proud now, proud that you family that you're a son and daughter of God, and pray that Psalm 91. Don't forget, okay? So what I will end up with is uh, uh, we have to stop by charities. Every famous I have access in international social media management and security, and I have a priority in comments and relevance comments, and everyone can see that, and then you can access real important investors like Elon Musk and Warren Buffett and you name it. And then also the famous superstars, actresses, and actors come to you because they see always you in priority, and they come to me, and they always ask me, uh, "Can you invest in my charity? I have an orphanage," and I don't believe in diversity in charity. If you understand, the diversity is expanded so much you can. Never put your eggs in one basket. That's the first rule of investing. Don't put your money in all one account because you pay 0.19% on $1 million on any account. So just go to 850, 950, and go and open another account if it must be. But if you get that lucky, but okay, that's nothing to do with luck. It's belief, and your level of thinking must be number one. Like you believe not in yourself, but in God, that He is bringing you your longings and your heart belongings. Your soul is just free when you surrender to Him and you accept that He chooses. Then you feel freedom. People think I get restricted and I have to pray, go to the church every day. No, you have to pray a lot, but that's not important enough. That's not all. You have to just be yourself and improve yourself, and you just do it your way and be open and humble and show respect because your soul can be saved and you will thank me later in afterlife if you get there. And what is a man who is rich and once get the money of the whole world and lose his soul in judgment day? Because everyone has to be judged. Be sure of it, and it's going to happen. Your spiritual being is going somewhere, and I know it two places. So and you know it too. But do that, Psalm 91. For rest, I want to say, don't worry about the economy. I will look at the center where I can act and where I can go make shortcuts to a straight path, traveling like an airplane, a straight path travel in a fast way, like a jet fighter, and then search shortcuts. So take cut the edges off and get faster to your point where you have to be. And for that, I have a special technique. I do that 15 minutes a day if I need to work and I'm struggling with something. And that is go lie down, a calm place where there's no sound almost, and you're not disturbed for, let's say, 15 minutes. And meditate only to the stuff you are working on and how you can improve that struggle, what you can sharpen up. But with the law of financial law and the law of the justice department, don't do criminal stuff to make shortcuts. No, that's not what I say. But that is what I say. My quote that I found myself to end up with this 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 I don't know how you call it, a video call, a video call. I don't give that much something like teachings, but this is what I could say in this time. It's the time is real fast, to an hour. I have so much more, but I can give information about high professional investments because of the people that would think and they are having no 10 years experience. I can do that too and then lose everything, and that's the danger side, and I took a pledge for it. But okay, my quote I find myself and I notated is no problem is too big and no detail is too small. That's my quote. And uh, and then the conclusion. What would I say? It's not important where you came from. It's important where you go and where you end up. So divide your thinking in positive and negative. Filter negative out. What you do is also a strategy. Divide and conquer. And act in according. Stay positive. Think level high. Not because you're the same as your neighbor. Think I am a different man and I can do different things and I can put the bar higher than I can reach. Uh, but you will jump over it. Believe me, if you believe in yourself and in God in the first place, that He is with you when you are positive and you show your respect in your own way, you will get there. That is what I say. God bless you all. Uh, what I want to say. Uh, do that. Listen to this. This is important information. This is from senior CFO and vice president I have as a financial business strategy international and an economic global priority source for stress situations. Uh, okay, Noel, Michael O'Neill is my private name. That is me. Bye bye.